Right, so a bit of a different one today because I have signed up for a half marathon in the 18th of May in Gothenburg, Sweden. I've never ran anything in my life. I did like 5k last year. It was this like obstacle course kind of thing. But I decided since I'm getting shredded for summer in the first place, I might as well challenge myself to do a half marathon. I thought I'd bring every one of you along for the ride, see what kind of training I do for it, see my body transformation along the way, and if I can actually do it in the end. So here's how I'm looking day one into the training. I've just finished off a bulk and I'm ready to cut now. So I have got a little bit of body fat on me, but it's not too much. But at the end of this training and at the start of May, I'm really hoping to be in the best shape I've ever been in my life and the lowest body fat I've ever had. My first run today, there's this ravine kind of place behind where I live that's supposed to be really pretty, and I've never been there before. So I thought it would be the perfect route for me to do like a little warm up. I think it's going to be like 5k, 4k overall, which I think is a good first training session for me to get warmed up and to get into the rhythm. I can definitely tell my legs, especially my calves, aren't used to running in general. I'm feeling so many muscles that I've never felt before right now. One of the things I used to worry about when my mum used to take me for runs as kids was that I didn't like people watching me. I didn't like running past anyone. So it's so nice here because apart from a few cars, there's no one here. So it's nice. I can just run and not be scared of anyone judging me. I definitely think one of the main challenges at least, is going to be my calves supporting my body weight. I'm used to running maybe at about 78, 80 kilograms absolute max, but because I bulked up to around 88 kilograms at the moment, my calves are just not used to the weight that they're being put under right now. So I've just returned from the first ever run today. It was hard. I didn't get out of breath. I don't think it's my cardio that is the issue, but not my calves, but the muscle like on your shin. That muscle really hurt during the run. I'm doing some stretches now, but that's definitely going to be the main thing I'm going to try to improve during the course of training. So it's the day after, it's day 2. My legs are a bit sore, the calves are a bit sore. Weirdly enough, my glutes hurt as well, which I wasn't feeling yesterday. But I had a thought this morning where I completely forgot that during this process of training to run a marathon, I'd obviously be doing the running training sessions, but I'm also going to be continuing to doing heavy resistance training and weightlifting for legs in the gym. And I'm not quite sure how I'm supposed to balance out the two of them because I have a feeling at the start it's just going to completely ruin my legs. For now, feeling okay, legs are a bit sore, but should be fine. Apologies for the state of how I look right now. Doing this first thing in the morning. It's Friday, and believe it or not, today I think I actually warmed up properly, so that should mean that I'm not as injured tomorrow on Saturday for leg day. I'm taking it a lot easier this time as well, like gradually building up, because last time I just jumped straight in, and I think that was also something that made me hurt a lot. I saw some other kid this morning actually on the back there. I saw this other guy training there as well, and he was shirtless. Got to make sure to put in the runs so I can beat him. Alright, so I've just finished up the cold shower after coming back from the run. It felt pretty good today, but ever since this week, I think running has helped a lot with this. I've just beasted everything. Like, I've got all of my work done. My productivity has just been crazy, and I think running has helped me, even though I've only done it twice, but kind of get into the state of mind where I can get a lot done, and hopefully it will continue to do that. Welcome back to week 2 of the marathon training. It's Monday morning. Thought I'd start the week off right with a nice run. It's quite sunny today, as you can see. So far, so good. So one of the main things I said last week, in week 1, that I wanted to improve was my pace. And my friend, who is also on Strava, which is this app which we can use to see how fast that we run, posted a 5k yesterday that was probably 2 minutes kilometre faster than me. So today I'm going to get as close as I can to his kilometre pace. One of the things I learned last week is that naturally from filming I have a very upright posture, and this is really bad for your calves and other bits of your lower leg, which I think was a big reason why in the first week they were hurting so much. So I'm running faster today, and just because I'm leaning forwards, they're not hurting as much. So that's why I'm going to go for it today and see if I can get a quicker time and beat Chris. All right, so we're back home, fresh out the shower. I locked in and tried to focus on beating my friend's time, which I didn't. And I was very surprised at how quick it actually was, because I'm not used to running. I'm not sure how fast a 4-minute or 5-minute kilometer pace was. And I was like, yeah, I could probably do that. And no, I was nowhere near. So a bit salty about that. But on the positive side, I improved vastly from last week. And at the same time, my legs don't hurt now. And I just felt a lot better during the run. And I think that was a big part too, leaning forward, because all of last week I was perfectly up straight. I think it might have been Chris that explained it to me last week, where if you stand up straight when you're running, all the force hits your heel when you hit the floor, and that like obviously hurts, like the impact like hurts the muscle and the leg. So if you lean forward, you're more likely to hit the front of your foot, like your toes, so you can spring off and go faster and it hurt less. So hopefully we can keep working on that and eventually beat Chris's time, which would be sick.
Okay, so it's Tuesday. I've just woken up, and as you can tell, I am very unwell. This really sucks because I was so motivated to get better on my runs, get faster and go for longer, but I'm not going to be able to do that for a few days at the very least. And especially today, I'm supposed to be going to Poland for 3 days on a holiday, and now I'm not very well. So the aim is today to wear this really fluffy jumper, sleep, sweat it out in bed, and then hopefully feel a little better before I go on holiday to Poland.
Okay, so we've arrived in Poland. I'm in the, what's it called, hostel right now. I still feel under the weather. I do feel a lot better than I did this morning, where I'm sure I looked a lot worse as well. But I don't think I'm going to be running any time this week. Right, my friends, we are on Saturday today, which is 2 days after coming back from Poland. Obviously, I haven't been able to go to the gym either, which is massively painful. I think I've become a lot more lean during this week as a consequence of just being ill. Okay, this has been a very different week for a lot of reasons, really. I only managed to do one run this week, which is what you've just seen. That was on Friday. That was with Chris, and it was a longer run than I usually did. Pretty much 9k. Pace was actually pretty good. We got under 6 minutes per kilometer. Chris could have gotten way faster because he is just fitter than me, but that was kind of my pace where I was at the time, and I wanted to like kind of push it on that run and go further than usual, because that is by far the longest run we've done on this training so far, and also because this was the only session that I did during this week. And the reason for that is because, as well as last week me feeling very unwell with Gdansk, this week has also, I've been feeling unwell, but for very different reasons. But to summarize, mentally, I've been in a very, very bad place, and somewhere that I've not been in for a very, very, very long time. This not only affected, obviously, my well-being day to day, like my mood, all of that. It's the worst it's been. I haven't been able to work out really. My body itself, even like despite being physically well, I've felt the weakest I've ever been in my entire life. I couldn't even eat my meals because of this feeling of always being
so anxious, on edge, and nervous. That feeling was so extreme that I literally just couldn't eat anything. So I lost a lot of weight in the process, and that obviously like contributed to me feeling frail. So basically, yeah, not being great this week. Only managed to go to the gym like 2 times, and never only been on 1 run.
You know, when I first told everyone that I was going to Sweden, they were all saying, oh, it's going to be so cold, you're going to be so chilly, you need to bring like a big coat. And since coming here, I was like, what do you mean? It's exactly the same as the UK. Up until now, literally 3 days ago, it was 17 degrees, and now we're on 0 again. I woke up this morning, went out the front door, and there's like frost outside. It's snowed like 5 or 6 times this year already. How is it this cold in April? For once, I think I'm actually missing the warmth of the UK. So muddy here today as well. Look at that. Not ideal at all. Whoa, okay, that's broken as well. Okay, people, we're back home after the first run of the week. I still can't believe how cold it is. It was literally 17 degrees 3 days ago, and now we're back to 0. But the run went okay. I will say it was very muddy, so I think we can knock about 2 minutes off my average pace. Other than that, I think it went pretty well. I increased the distance a tiny bit, so I think I went like half a K more than I usually would. And my pace was a bit better as well, obviously, not counting the muddy sections. But I think we're progressing steadily, and I think by the time we do the 10K, which is on the 20th of April, which is about what, 2 weeks time, we should be more than ready to conquer that challenge. Okay, so we're going to be doing the 10K today, which is the longest run we've done so far by about 1K. So yesterday I went on Strava for the first time in a while, where you check like everyone else's runs, how fast they were, etc. And I saw that my friend Chris had already done a half marathon when we're not even supposed to do it until 1.5 months later. And he did it with a better pace than I did the 8K we did last week. So I'm pretty fuming at that. It's given me the motivation to go hard today, get longer, do the 10, hopefully get a decent pace in it as well. I have changed the route as well today, because the route I usually do is very hilly. Like the whole, like 3/4 of it is uphill, and I think that's massively nerfing my pace and my morale basically in the run. So this one is not only longer and it's more like circular, but it is supposed to be flat as well. So hopefully my legs won't hurt as much, so recovery will be better, and I'll get a quicker time. So I'm nearly finished ending off my first lap, because I thought the circuit was 10K for 1 lap, but apparently it's not, and you have to do 2 laps. So that's a bit upsetting. Okay, so that tree in the middle down there, don't know if you can see it, but that signifies 1 lap. That'll be 5K, and then I've got another lap to go. Okay, just completed the first run. Look how sweaty I am. That felt really good. Honestly, that felt really good. One of the biggest things I noticed is when I'm not being slowed down by mud, hills, or aching muscles from leg day, I'm actually so much faster. But yeah, I'm actually so gassed with that. Like, that's the longest I've done, and it was the quickest pace I've ever set as well. So it just goes to show how much better I am when I'm in the zone and focused. Alright, so we're back home now after the cold shower, which was really nice after running, because it was actually really warm out today. I think it was 17 or so degrees. But also, I'm really proud of the run I did today, because it was the longest one, and it was the quickest run I've ever done. I think it just goes to show how fast I could actually be when I'm not being nerfed by like recording and being out of tempo, the hills, the mud, and etc, etc. I think I've grown a lot just in this one session and realized what does and doesn't work for me. How's it going? Okay, so it's Friday today, just come back from my lecture. So my plan was to come straight back home and start running. That's why I'm dressed for the occasion. However, it's raining now, which obviously isn't a huge deal, but I think I'm gonna wait a few minutes until it dies down, just so I can be in the perfect state of mind to absolutely demolish this 12K we're about to do. Okay, it's still raining, but I've decided to come out anyway. Don't know how that will affect the run. It might do, it might not. I'm completely drenched, but we're coming up to the finish line. I'm definitely a lot slower today, mostly because I think I haven't fully recovered from the first run and leg session. Right, we finished with the run. It went well, apart from the fact that my phone died before I managed to finish it. So not great. I will say it was probably one of the harder runs I've done this week, but definitely not of all time. The first 2 runs I ever did on this training were by far the hardest I have ever done because the legs were hurting, I was tired, all that sort of stuff. I think I've made a lot of progress this week. I finally did 2 sessions a week for the first time since the first week, maybe, which was like 3 weeks ago. And I've been able to do 2 gym sessions at the same time, which is great. Not to mention that the runs are both 10K or above and a decent pace. All right, it's Tuesday morning. We're doing the 10K again. This is going to be the only run of the week because we've got the 10K of the official one on Saturday. So quick little, an hour-long session this morning. I've got a reason to be back home because I booked my washing at 10 and I can't miss it because I have no clothes to wear. So I'm going to try and make this a pretty quick one, just to set a good baseline for the pace I want to hit on Saturday. But yeah, 10K, let's get it done. I don't think my legs are recovered. My knee's in pain and my left calf is in bits as well. Normally this wouldn't be an issue, so I just push through it anyway and have legs that really hurt at the end. But I don't want to injure myself or not be in the best condition for the race on Saturday. So I think I'm just going to call it quits at 5 just so that I don't injure myself. So it's Wednesday today, and for the first time in a long time I'm skipping legs, or more accurately I'm resting them, and I'm just taking a nice walk in the countryside. I'm also going to pick up some protein powder from Nova soon as well. Alright everyone, what we're saying is Saturday today. This morning is the 10K, the first race out of the 2. Feeling a bit nervous, can't lie. My plan is to get either energy drinks or coffee before the run and absolutely just stim myself out on caffeine and then go absolutely mental during the run. Conditions aren't the best, well, actually alright to be fair. I mean, it's not sunny by any means. I don't know if you can see. Average Swedish experience. But it's not going to rain, so that's positive. I'm going to meet the others at the station soon, but not before I get my caffeine of some sort. Oh, you hoosh. I'd love to see it. 5 minutes.
Your voice? Yeah, I've signed up for 10 minutes. Oh, great. Thanks. I thought intro ready. No one else seems like water.
No, we're the only ones.
Get your big head out, Rush. Hey, so the guy. He's trying to reel him in there.
He's trying to be him.
That's
He is. Ducker's coming up to the finish. Come on, lad! 400 left! There he goes. There goes my hero. Come on!
It's 2K.
What?
Yeah, it was proper compact at the start. And then you
Oh, the breeze is nice. The breeze is lovely. Yeah.
I think I missed the award ceremony there.
Oh yeah. No top 3 podium for us. Oh yeah. Alright everyone, just come back from the 10K today. Let me shut my door so none of my flat can hear me. So we ran nothing short of a spectacular run today. Every single record I've ever had before was broken today. Absolutely smashed past my best pace by almost a minute, which is crazy. The vibes were just good in general. I feel like today I had a proper warm-up. There was a dancing session. There was people there, which was weird for once because obviously I run by myself normally. But having the people there were really good to sticking to a good pace because I obviously didn't want to fall behind and have people overtake me. And I also wanted to stick with the people, which meant that I had to keep up a very fast pace. I did have a bit of a disaster between kilometers 7 and 8 because I had a very, very bad stitch, which I tried to avoid by not eating anything in the morning, but it felt like someone had got a knife and stabbed it into my right rib. It hurt so much for an entire kilometer. Snowing when it's nearly the start of May is crazy. All right, what's going on? Before you say it, yes, I'm aware. Have a haircut. It's not looking the best right now because I've just got out of bed. But regardless, we're going to try the first run of the week. I'm aiming to just do a 5. To be honest, the only reason I'm here is because I need to burn some calories for tonight because I'm going to the cinema. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Might do 5 or more, depending on how it feels. Not good is how they're feeling. Painful, actually. It's seemingly the same issue every week. It's not that I'm out of breath. It's just that my legs are too injured, achy, sore, painful, all of the above. Alright people, how we doing? It's Saturday. Today, on a whim, I decided to do the park run in Malmo because I thought my friend was going to be there. Turns out he didn't show up, but that's fine. I went by myself. And even though my legs were hurting yesterday, today I made it a point. I was like, right, I'm not going to do legs today because my legs already hurt. So I'm going to use the 5K as a training session by itself and just go as fast as humanly possible in the 5K and try set my fastest pace, which I did, which I'm gassed with, by 4:30 average pace, which is sick. Best I've done so far, so that's great. And weirdly enough, my legs didn't hurt at all throughout the entire thing. So they must have just magically recovered overnight. I mean, I'll take it. All right, it's Valborg today. Not really sure what that means, but I do know it's a day where everyone comes to the park and gets really drunk. I've heard from some friends that people come as early as 5 or 6 a.m. just to get a spot in the park, because apparently it gets as busy as 20,000 people in this one park. So I've got the shades on today, got the supplies, I'm gonna be meeting Chris at the park, have a nice sunbathe, get the test up. It's gonna be a good day. It's literally just like a festival. Yeah. Alright, it's Wednesday today. I'm gonna attempt the 15K this morning. Yesterday was still mad, I can't get over that. It was literally just like a festival in the park, but it was free and everyone was there. And then on the night there was a bonfire, which I didn't show, but that was pretty cool as well. Today, this is going to be a long session, hopefully. My legs can take it. I'm going to try and get the endurance up. 15K is the goal, which is 3 laps around my usual route. So that's the plan. All right, we're coming up on the 3rd and final lap now. I've decided to ditch the t-shirt because it was getting way too warm. Legs are feeling all right, honestly. Not bad at all. Pace is a little slower, but that's to be expected. Let's smash this final lap. That was hard, but honestly, it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. But I will say, I'm not used to that heat. I'm used to about 0 degrees here. It's probably about 16 today. All I'm saying is, I cannot wait for that cold shower as soon as I get in, and 5 gallons of water. Alright everyone, what's up? I'm aware, hair's not looking the best. However, it's Wednesday today. Beautiful weather. Love to see it. We're going to be attempting the half marathon today. This is not the proper one. This is just a practice one I want to do. See how I feel about it. Mentally, physically, all that kind of stuff. And I also want to experiment on the day with one of these. So I figured if I do it now, and if something goes wrong, I won't do the same thing for the half marathon. I'd rather make the mistake now than on the big day. So, down one of these, get stretched, get warmed up, and get out there and hopefully manage to do it pretty well without any injury, but that's probably not gonna happen. We'll see. Coming up on the 3rd lap now. Legs are feeling fine, maybe a bit heavy. Other than that, we're good. I think I've kept to a pretty good pace as well, so that's always motivating. My aim is to finish around 1 hour 50. Approaching the last lap now. I'm a bit tired, but I can keep on going. I don't like running with my shirt off because everyone looks. All right, we just got back in from doing the half marathon. Just had a cold shower. That was probably the best shower I've ever had in my life, honestly. Overall, very happy with it. Unfortunately, just missed out on the sub 1 hour 50 by 50 seconds or something like that. I was gonna say I'm annoyed with that, but honestly not really. It wasn't even supposed to be a fast time, but it turned out that way. In addition to that, I've noticed that obviously there was no one running with me today, so I've got no real pacemaker, is that the word? I can't remember what the word is. But on the day, I'll have lots of people running with me who will already be going at a fast pace, and I will try to keep up with them. So my pace should be naturally faster because of that. I should just get a better time. For the real thing, I'm going to aim to hit 140, which I know is a very ambitious goal, but if I aim for that and get sub 145, that's still an amazing time anyway. I feel like it's better to be ambitious than to not be. So I'll join you next week for the big race and everything that happens in between. See you then.
I'm not doing any of that until I have to move to run.
Lovely meals all around. Getting in the mood, are we?
When you two are starting, I'll come down here somewhere and I'll look for him. If you can run through this bit, I don't know, like maybe you only start running at the.
No, I'll start there, I'm pretty sure.
No, I mean, but like he'll be walking through, won't he? Yeah. I'll still take bits here.
That way.
One for the gram.
One for the gram. It's a big day.
I'll see him when he group 13's knocking about.
All the hope.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
They're off. Look at the speed. The speed is great.
Do that for every group, maybe. That'd be cool.
Värma upp era kroppar här lite ytterligare då. Varsågod SSC, vi kör igång musiken.
That was absolutely mad. I'm not even, I can't even lift my shoulder, genuinely. I can't even do a lateral raise. My strategy was get a monster in early, use that to get my way through. Because last time I had any water, it gave me a cramp and a stitch, so I didn't want that. But that went out the window within the first kilometre. Genuinely though, so difficult. I think it was under 150. But honestly, I'm not even mad. I'm really happy with that, considering the conditions. Boiling, 23 degrees, no clouds, no wind. There was a bit of shade, but not a lot. And the majority of the course is uphill. So not as good as I wanted, but still gassed considering the conditions. They're interviewing people somewhere. I might find them and have a little chat. I need to find Christopher, because he's already finished somewhere waiting for me. And then Harry is somewhere. He's like an hour into the course, so we're going to find him and video him later. What I do like though is they've got free food, so I've just absolutely scrammed 2 protein bars at 12 kilometers on one of the bridges. Genuinely, I thought I was going to pass out. Like, actually, I thought I was going to faint. And so many people, I've genuinely seen like over 10 people laid down on like an IV drip being carried out by a van. Like, actually genuinely dangerous. And I thought that was going to be me, but I need to stop trying to raise my shoulder. But thankfully it wasn't. Right, I'm going to go find Chris and see what he's up to. Hopefully he's not in hospital. I found him.
Så ska det gick ett rum här så jag måste lösa det. Har ni varit ihop? Ja. Har det varit ett skönt lopp idag?
Come on, Harry!
Men det är bra ändå faktiskt.
Ni har ju pratat om det också här tidigare idag. Dialekten Susanne, var kommer man ifrån?
Östergötland, Motala.
Oj, Motala, det är fint också. Är Olivia därifrån också?
I'm going to do another one in summer. Let's eat it in condition and see what happens. I was helping, eh? I live behind the sea, mate. It's windy. This hill at the end, that was yeah. We should have done it the way that we were the chickens.
Right, we're finally back home now. But the last challenge is getting up these stairs. Alright then everyone, that marks the end of the series. This is the end of Billy Trains for running a half marathon. I remember back in week 1 where I went for my first run, the 5k, and I could barely do it. My legs were like hurting so much and I was really out of breath. I'm just so happy with how far I've come over these past 10 weeks, which isn't that long of a time, but I honestly feel like I've progressed so much, both in being able, like how fast I'm able to go and like how long I'm able to run. I just feel so much more knowledgeable about conditioning, running, training, and just exercise in general, and how to better navigate that over these past 10 weeks. I would 100% recommend this challenge to anyone else that feels like they want to get in better shape or maybe just wants to become fitter, because that definitely was the case for me. Definitely felt fitter, felt healthier, looked a lot better, which we'll come to soon. But honestly, I think 10 weeks or 12 weeks is a perfect amount of time to get into physical shape and to set a goal to run a half marathon. But saying that, I would not recommend doing the same one that I did. Just make sure the half marathon you sign up for isn't all hills, isn't in 23-degree heat, has clouds, has shade, and has a bit of wind. And if that's the case, I'm sure you'll be alright. But as for how this challenge changed me physically, I'm going to put a few pictures on the screen here now. I started off around 87 kilograms and I just finished a bulk, so I had a bit more body fat than I wanted to, and I used this challenge as an excuse to supplement it with my cut so I could cut down my body fat. And that is the case of what happened. I've definitely lost a lot of visible body fat, mostly, honestly, obviously on the ab area, but also on my lower back, like love handle area. It's visibly a lot thinner than it used to be, which is great. It just gives the illusion that I have a bigger back. And obviously just a lot more muscle definition everywhere around the body. And I'm now about 78 kilograms. So probably, yeah, lost about 9 or 10 kilograms overall, which is a pretty impressive amount, honestly. Thank you to everyone that tuned in every single week from week 1 to week 10, seeing how I did. There's not really much else to say. See you around.